Hey everyone, it's Mojaxx back in the DJcity UK lab. Today I've got a highly requested review, the Pioneer DJM-450. Let's get to it. There are really two distinct perspectives to take when looking at the DJM-450. On the one hand, it's a two-channel mixer designed for the bedroom, and on the other hand, it's a Rekordbox DJ device, shipping with both the main performance software package and the DVS plugin for its $700 street price in the US. We'll look at it as a regular mixer first of all. You have two main channels, plus a multifunction aux input which we'll look at later. The channels have the usual 3-band EQ with both classic and full kill modes. There are also Pioneer DJ's trademark sound colour effects with a choice of dub echo, which is post fader, noise, sweep, which also has a gate when turned anti-clockwise, and a combo filter. These are augmented by the parameter knob, which controls a different aspect of each chosen effect. This setup is much like the DJM-900 Nexus 2, just cut down slightly with two less effects. And that's kind of a theme with the DJM-450. In so many respects, it feels just like Pioneer DJ have pulled out little sections of the 900 Nexus 2 and transplanted them into a smaller body. If you want a bedroom mixer which feels just like the current club standard, this is the one for you. But a bedroom mixer this definitely is. Whilst most of the specs and the performance of the 450 make it a very capable device in many respects, the lack of a dedicated booth output points clearly at the target market for it. You have a single master output with the choice of RCA or XLR connections. Recording is done through the USB port, which is fine, but that's it when it comes to outputs. If you want to use the 450 at a gig and you need a booth monitor, you're going to have to look at workarounds. There are switchable line and phono inputs on the main channels and a dedicated mic input. That's fairly basic with just a tone control and a jack input, but it works nicely enough. Build quality is typical Pioneer DJ, with full metal body and metal pots. I've used enough of their mixers over many years now to know what that construction is like, and these things really do last if they aren't completely abused. Sound quality is definitely on point. The digital sound of the current generation of Pioneer DJ products has yet to disappoint me, and the 450 continues that trend. Queuing is comprehensive with both sizes of headphone socket and split queue. It would be nice to be able to queue the aux input, but that's not a big issue. The up faders have a stiff feel for blending, and the crossfader is very good. It's one of Pioneer DJ's Magvel magnetic faders with very light movement. You can slide it across just by tipping the mixer on its side. There are two curve options with a gradual fade and a scratch curve, which is nice and sharp with a short cut-in distance. You also have a hamster switch and the option to bypass the crossfader altogether if you're strictly a line fader user. One thing to note is that the fader is directly in line with the on-off switch for the beat effects, and a few times when cutting I found myself activating that by mistake. Just make sure you either consciously avoid it or turn the effects level down before you get wild on the cut. Speaking of those beat effects, again the theme here is typical Pioneer DJ. You have 8 effects in total, all very high quality and all post fader. Whilst I missed the frequency divider controls from the 900 Nexus 2, I appreciate there do have to be some compromises somewhere, and the effects are all completely usable. You have nice reliable automatic beat detection, and you can also tap or dial in the BPM manually. It's when you connect the mixer to Rekordbox DJ that those effects really come alive though, as the BPM is then linked directly to the software, meaning you can just forget about setting the BPM entirely. So we should get to the software side of things. As I said, you have the full Rekordbox DJ performance software and the DVS expansion included with the mixer. I won't go too much into the features of Rekordbox DJ here. We've covered that at some length in the past on this channel, but from the viewpoint of mid-2017, the platform is still evolving very quickly and is definitely a worthy contender for the likes of Serato DJ and Traktor. My suspicion is that a lot of DJs who use other platforms will end up buying the 450 to use with their existing software and external interface, then try the included Rekordbox DJ, and many will be converted. Certainly, the 450 works as well with the software as any of Pioneer DJ's other hardware. Integration is totally smooth and gave me zero problems. The quality of the audio interface is excellent, and you can run the software sample player directly to the aux channel rather than on top of one of the main channels if you want to. One thing which did baffle me slightly is the fact that Pioneer DJ don't include any control vinyl with the mixer. You have to buy that separately. This seems like a really odd decision, as I'm sure it'll lead many people to try out the DVS function with their existing Serato control vinyl collection. which kind of works, but not properly, and it won't give them a good experience. Performance is decent with actual Rekordbox vinyl, but that's going to be an extra cost, and not actually that easy to find, certainly here in the UK. If Pioneer are really trying to win over existing DVS users, not giving them any vinyl to use seems like a bit of a strange way to go about it. The final thing to talk about on the 450 is the send and return auxiliary setup. This is another feature inherited from the Nexus 2, and as I said when I reviewed that, it has a lot of potential, which hasn't really been realised yet. Instead of send and return jacks, you have a USB port on top which can be connected to a device like an iPad, letting you use software like Pioneer DJ's own RMX 1000 iOS app as an external effects box. This works nicely enough. There's a little bit of latency there, but nothing dramatic, and you can choose to use the loop either as an insert, the traditional Pioneer DJ way, or as a proper auxiliary send, which you can then return through the aux channel. There's a little bit of weirdness around pre and post fader routing in this mode, but it makes a lot of sense for some types of effects. Overall, I'm just not seeing this feature used an awful lot on the Nexus 2 in clubs, and I'm still waiting for a true killer app to make it really sing, but overall it's a nice addition to the mixer. So there you go, my take on the DJM-450 from Pioneer DJ. Overall, I think it's pretty good value. $700 street price in the US. Build quality, excellent. You know, typical Pioneer DJ build. Metal pots everywhere. I know from experience that unless you really abuse these things, Pioneer DJ mixers do last a long time. I've got no problems with that. Sound quality is very typical of the new generation of Pioneer DJ mixers. Very clean, very crisp. Again, zero complaints about the sound. Sounds more expensive than it is. Very good. The effects, excellent quality. Lots going on there with the sound color effects and the beat effects all working nicely, particularly, of course, with Rekordbox DJ and the synchronized BPM. The big thing for a lot of people with this will be the lack of a booth output. And I understand that Pioneer DJ, they've got their range, and you know, they have their club and bar mixers, they have their bedroom mixers, and this is in the bedroom mixer category. But it is a shame that it doesn't have a booth, because actually this is a very capable little mixer. You could easily take this out and use it at a bar gig, at a small club, if it had that booth monitor. You know, if you use in-ear monitors or whatever, you're laughing with this because you can just use those anyway. But yeah, that lack of a booth output will be an issue for a lot of DJs who might want to take this out to a club. You know, especially if they're using Rekordbox DVS, they need to have their interface there, and that's what this is. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a shame because I think there's untapped potential for this mixer just because of that lack of a booth output. But that doesn't take away from the quality and how much I've enjoyed using this mixer. It's a really nice piece of kit. Good value, well made, good sound. I just wish it had a booth output, and that would just, you know, it would open up its potential to another level again. Thank you for watching today. Make sure you subscribe for all our future tips, tricks, and product reviews. I'll see you soon.